just talked about. Remember, it was late last year, some of the states had to meet. It looks like regional development was the crux of the matter. And I remember then in the Southwest, they also had that particular meeting here. And you're also privileged to be in our studios. We talked about regional matters. And for some, they're already talking about going back to the ways it was before when we talk about true federalism, and saying that perhaps instead of creating more states, they should be collapsed and we should go into regions and see how well that can impact positively in our national life. Do you think those who are canvassing for such, talking about going back to the regional era and practicing true federalism, having a weak center, and giving the states a more robust and power in the Constitution would be the in thing for us now?
Very, very loaded question. But I'll try to disambiguate. Don't give the opponents of regionalism the joy of saying that we cannot go back to the past. If you change the model of governance, it doesn't mean you are going back to 1952 when we achieved limited self-government in Western Nigeria, or we're going back to Mafase Constitution, Littleton Constitution, 1960 Constitution, 1963 Republican Constitution. No, it's not a question of going back. It is about designing a template that will be suitable to Nigeria as a multi-ethnic, multinational, multicultural country. Nigeria, as it is presently constituted, is cumbrous, ungainly, bungulsome, and that's why things are not working. And I will illustrate. You spend 72.3% of your budget on recurrent expenditure. To achieve what? I've just read in the papers that government will borrow to finance 2012 budget. If you are borrowing to embark on projects that are necessary for developmental process of Nigeria, projects that will add value to the generality of Nigerians, is welcome. America borrows. But they borrow to empower an average American entrepreneur who will add value to the economy. But when you borrow money to allow some people to steal from pension fund, to spend 70% of what you have borrowed on overheads, it doesn't make any economic sense to me, even though I'm not an economist. But it is elementary economics, because the fact that I'm a lawyer does not mean when I was in secondary school or A-levels, I didn't study economics. Now, quite honestly, and this is not about playing politics, the states that we have are not federating states. How autonomous are they? Most states, when they pay salaries and all of that, meet up with their recurrent expenditure, they barely have less than 15 to 20% of the budget on developmental projects that should impact on the lives of the people. So clearly, they must come together in the spirit of what we call integration.
Just allow me drop this in, because now you just talked about integration. Are we having some kind of pseudo-regionalism in Nigeria already? Because I'm trying to look at the South-South Economic Summit, the Southwest Met, we have the Northern Governors Forum, and everyone will just box themselves in the region, trying to do what they think is best for the region.
It shows how dishonest the Nigerian state is. Northern governors will meet to discuss about interests touching and concerning the Northern Nigeria, including but not limited to meeting of heads of service of various governments. Breast Commission came to be because South-South wants to have a regional bloc and then cooperate and integrate. I'm a member of Afenifere Renewal Group, and I'm proud to have been associated with the process that led to the production of Dawn document, Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, which seeks to have some kind of cooperation.
That's an acronym, Dawn document.
Dawn document, which means Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. People are thinking out of the box because they know that, well, the constitution as it is does not encourage regionalism. But it is clear to us that without regional cooperation, what they call compact governance in the US. For instance, the state of New York, the state of New Jersey, and Maryland, 3 states, because of contiguity, cooperate on areas of mutual interest. International trade is about specialization. Now let me illustrate why it is important for Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Ondo, and Osun State should cooperate. With due respect to the governor of Lagos State and the government they are running, I do not think Lagos is having business with agriculture. Neither do I think Ekiti State, that is predominantly rural, should have anything to do with building, stadia, and all of that. But the challenge is Lagos and Ekiti should cooperate for Lagos to be part of the provision of infrastructures in Ekiti State, and for Ekiti to embark on massive agriculture, and also State to embark on massive agriculture for them to feed the people in Lagos. That's the kind of cooperation we're talking about. But because the states are different, because they are seen as federative states, you have duplication of ministries of agriculture, duplication of ministry of... No area is cooperation and integration desirable more than the area of security. I've been involved. I'm a member of the Security Trust Fund, Board of Trustees of Ogun State Security Trust Fund. And I know that without cooperation between Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, it will be difficult. If you drive armed robbers from Lagos to Ogun, Ogun drives armed robbers from Ogun to Oyo, Oyo drives armed robbers from Oyo to where? Well, armed robbers will still exist. But if you have a regional network, you cooperate on security. You have uniform tactics and strategies. Your men are cooperating. You make the Western Nigeria.
Now, your position seems so much in conflict with the recommendations of the Justice Alpha Begure panel that seeks for creation of more states. Now, you are canvassing for regional blocks. So what difference does this make?
Well, with due respect to members of the committee, I do not think the Belgore committee will recommend creation of more states. But assuming without considering, they recommended. Well, it flies in the face of logic and reality that a state that is presently unviable, that is grappling to meet with its responsibilities, will be further subdivided into 2. I mean, that's compounding the woes. The elites of Nigeria are selfish people. And the elites are the major advocates of state creation because either they want to become governor or senators or commissioners. The best state creation does is for you to have a new capital, a new secretariat, a new this and that, without the generality of the people benefiting. Let's not play politics here. When I was seeking election as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I might not have said this because I know part of my constituents in Ijebu are desirous of state creation. But we must tell ourselves the gospel truth. That how do my people in Ogun State or in my part of Remo benefit from the creation of, other than the fact that some people will be jostling to become governors, senators, and all of that. I'm not saying Ijebu does not deserve to have a state, but they must have a state under a framework of regional arrangement. Let us have our regional autonomy built on self-determination.